Hello everybody, MegaZardX here, back at it again to give you another very exciting collection reflection video where I take the time out just go through my whole entire gaming library. It could be a game, could be a console, or it could be a limited edition. But today we're going to be talking about none other than Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door, because look, I like RPGs. I like my old boy, the plumber Mario, though. And it was only a matter of time before I talk about another one of these RPG Mario style games, though. I already talked about Super Paper Mario. You can see a card up there in the corner, though. But now it's time to talk about Thousand Year Door, because like this one, I feel like is like one of Nintendo's holy grail, or at least especially on the GameCube era, because I don't just have only this version. I actually had the GameCube version as well, though. So I have a lot of things to say about. We're going to be mainly focusing on the Nintendo Switch version, because that was like me going through and playing through the whole game in its entirety, though. But there is a great, phenomenal story behind there, great combat and stuff, and kind of begs into questions like, is this going to be the future of the way how the Mario RPGs is going to be moving from this point forward, though? Only time is going to be able to tell, though. But if you hadn't already done so, make sure you hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing. And if you're curious and want to support the channel just a little bit more, then feel free to hit that join link down below. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight up into this video. Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door is a well-known and beloved classic for all of those that happen to have the GameCube growing up. Look, I didn't necessarily have Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door, my GameCube copy, until like more recently. It wasn't until like a few years ago when I was going through and just collecting a whole bunch of GameCube games, because look, I missed out on that GameCube generation. Like, I didn't grow up having a GameCube. My cousin did, with Double Dash and everything like that, though. So every time I went to her house, I was trying to play the game, and then lo and behold, when I got a Wii with the backwards compatibility in the future, I was like, hey, where's that copy of Double Dash? She was like, oh, I sold it. And I was so upset with her, though. But I digress. This is about Thousand Year Door. I just completely missed out on this thing. Like, the first thing, inclusion of me being able to play any Paper Mario game wasn't until Super Paper Mario on the Wii. I still love that game for everything that game does. Like, there's a great story. I still argue that is still one of the best stories out there, though. But Thousand Year Door is nothing to scoff at, because the story is definitely there. But I would say the gameplay mechanic was, I think, better in this game than even in Super Paper Mario, because that was mostly a platformer. This one felt more in the traditional sense as an RPG, though, because not only are you just going through the game and playing as Mario, though, but you had the whole partner mechanic, which for the longest time I was trying to understand why people love partners so much. Like, every time that Thousand Year Door was always brought up, where I'm just surfing the web on, just on Twitter or whatever, though, people were just clamoring on and on about how good these partner mechanics were. So whenever Nintendo managed to come out in that one Nintendo Direct and say, hey, look, here you go, the dude lowering down his hands like this and say, all right, here you go. Here's the last look at the plus one more thing at the end of the Direct. And we finally got the confirmation that Thousand Year Door is coming over to the Switch. I was like, okay. I guess now I finally get to see what these people are talking about, and partners do not disappoint. Like, I think that's literally what makes this game, the Thousand Year Door, versus any other like Mario RPG out there you're looking at, whether it be Super Mario RPG that you saw back there on the Super Nintendo that also got brought up to the Switch, or any of the other Paper Marios, including also the Mario and Luigi series. Like, that's what makes this game very unique, because you have all these different partners. You have the Koopa, you have Goombella and stuff like that. You had that little bit of a Yoshi over there, and the list kind of goes on and on and on. I like how unique how each one of these partners play, and it's very simplistic on the surface level. Like, obviously you will go as Mario, then your partner will go. You can switch out the partner depending on which enemies you happen to be facing, because some enemies are work a little bit better for you using a particular partner, such as like using like Bomb Dude or whatever, though. If you got like a horde of them, you just want him to blow up and this dude mass AoE damage on all of them, though. Or maybe you need Yoshi because, hey, he has like that one little flutter jump, so he can kind of get high above like one of the enemy's heads and do like a good astonishing amount of damage. Like, there's different situations for different scenarios, though. This is so good. Like, and then obviously you have like backstories for each one of these characters. It's not like, oh, you just have access to them. Talk about some kind of current issues they're going on with, though, and then lo and behold, they get added into the party and such. And it's like, man, You know, it's a good story from start to finish, though. And then it's not just only about the gameplay itself, though. Like, oh my gosh, the music that's up and present in this game, though. Like, the battle theme is very predominant, and in most RPGs, it kind of stays pretty stagnant. It doesn't change a whole bunch. It does change depending on if you're in some areas nowadays, though. But like when you think about like old school RPGs, it stay like pretty consistent for the most part, though. But at least within this one particular remaster version of it, they were like, we're gonna twist some things up a little bit, though. So every time you move to a brand new area, they changed up the melody of how it play. Like, and I think one iteration that I've had the best was like where you're out like in a remote train station or whatever, though. Like you have to make a pit stop there before you can progress towards whatever you had next in your journey, though. That thing right there, it was like a jazzified version of the battle theme. I was like, man, oh man, that's some good stuff right there. I was like, oh shoot. And I was in it for this ride. I mean, obviously it doesn't take like a really long time to go through and play through this game. It's a very tight, somewhere between the net range of 20 to 30 hours at most. Obviously a little bit more time if you're trying to 100% and find every like nook and cranny that's up in the game, though. But I always like and enjoy those RPGs where it's like, hey, they throw a lot of story at you, the gameplay is fun, and it doesn't necessarily outstay its welcome. Like you get in and you get out, and there's something important that you're able to take away from this whole entire gaming experience that it still sits and resonates in the back of your mind. Like it's you know, it's a little bit of comfort food knowing that, hey, you played this game. It was a great experience, though, and it's something I'm not necessarily going to ever forget, though. And I think that's everything that encompasses me with Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door. Every one of these characters I resonated strongly with. I don't feel like there was like a bad partner that was up in here. I did like the final boss. Yes, they changed some stuff up from the original GameCube version. Like this version doesn't play at 60 FPS, it plays at 30 FPS, though. But that does allow them to kind of clean up some other aspects and, you know, HDify everything else, the environments and stuff. Because I mean, in terms of like the aesthetics, like when you're just walking around in the open world and stuff, it's very reminiscent to, I would say, Paper Mario and the Origami King. Outside of the gameplay, there wasn't too much I really didn't like in Origami King. I like the music, the way how you got to run around these open worlds and stuff. There was always like quite a bit of stuff that you can go through and explore as well. I mean, shoot, it's very on par with that. But obviously, this game just kind of blew it out of the water. It's kind of unfortunate that this is, in terms of game sales, it's not going to sell nearly as much as like what Origami King is, though. But you know, it's kind of in the net range of what I kind of expected a Paper Mario game to actually sell, though. But yeah, that's the one thing I like about this game, is the fact of how open it is and how you get to travel and traverse through these different worlds, which is like very different from like Super Paper Mario, where it's like you had all the exploration in it, but it was mostly combined within the 2D plane versus the 3D plane that Thousand Year Door is rocking over here, though. So there's a lot of things that hold this game up even to today's time, and whether you're playing the GameCube version or you're playing the Switch version, though, you're still going to be in for a great time, though. The Switch version just has a little bit of extra bonus perks of like, you know, respecting your time. There's not as much like back traveling. Like they kind of streamline a lot of that stuff, though, and some things with the badge system and stuff like that. This is some nice quality of life aspects they managed to put up in this version, though. But you gotta let me know down in the comment section down below, what all do you think about Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door? Look, if you had not played this game and you have a Switch, you're sleeping on your morals if you definitely like yourself a good RPG. Because like, look, between Super Mario RPG, Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door, and Mario and Luigi Brothership, which all happen to release within the span of a year. I mean, good gracious sakes alive, like that was some great gaming. They dropped the ball on the end with Mario and Luigi Brothership, though, but at least with the first two titles, they're really good. And I love my experience with Thousand Year Door from start to finish, though. But I'll just love to hear all about your tales. Who's your favorite character? What was your best story arc and stuff down in the comment section down below. But that's going to basically do it for today's video, though. But if you hadn't already done so, make sure to go and hit that like button. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing. And if you're curious to want to support the channel just a little bit more, then feel free to hit that join link down below. But that's going to do it for today, though. So remember, y'all, until our video I make next, see y'all.